So I'm going to call you on stage now, Kara Swisher and Yossi Vardi. And welcome, Kara. So here is a mic for you. Kara is co-organizing a fantastic conference called All Things D.
So we're going to talk to Yossi Vardi. Yossi Vardi I have known for a very long time, since I wrote a book about AOL, the rise of AOL, which was soon followed by a book on the fall of AOL. You know, it may rise again, but probably not. But he is like the Forrest Gump of the internet, and has been an investor and been involved in lots of startups in Israel and all over the world. And so because I am interviewing him today, I've known him for so long, he actually had a presentation. He wants to discuss it really briefly of a new internet, I'd say this is Web 3.0 idea. Go ahead, Yossi.
Okay, actually, you are not going to like what I'm going to say, Kara, but I was supposed to spend the 20 minutes providing the presentation. Every year I provide a presentation on some new idea which is totally out of the box. Right. Those of you who were here before may remember my presentation about local warming. Anybody remember it? Good. And then last year I made a presentation about transferring data with snails faster than ADSL. Right. This year I prepared something which is very much in the box, not out of the box, and this is a new ISP service. But because of this interview, I cannot do the full presentation.
Well, why don't you give us a little taste of your interesting idea, Yossi?
Okay, so this idea was a new internet service for the dead. The concept was formulated by a friend of mine called Gil Rimon, an Israeli guy who is very innovative. And I took it from there and tried to develop it to a service. And I would like to share with you the merits of having internet service for the dead. First of all,
you mean the dearly departed?
I'm sorry?
A corpse, internet service for a corpse.
Yeah, internet service for dead people, yeah, for corpse.
Okay, all right.
And we think that this is a growing community. The market is always growing. The number of dead people is growing every time. We think that there is no churn. Right. Nobody ever churned this community. We think that everybody knows a dead man. We think it's very good from customer support point of view. According to our focus group, we made some focus group, nobody ever complained on bad service or paying. Right. And we came with a number of very innovative paying rate programs. One is pay as you go. The other one was eat as you can, as much as you can. The third one was a flat rate. And the other one was a lifetime subscription. So we think it's really a great program, and we want to launch it. And it's on the level. Okay. And it's very much in the box.
Oh. I am so sorry we missed that presentation.
There are a lot of clips in YouTube regarding user acquisition. People have great ideas how to die, and we think it's a great idea, but you will have to wait for next year. Anybody who wants to join the service now, please come to me after the panel.
One of the really good things about the economic collapse, which we call the econolypse in the United States, the economic apocalypse, is that companies like that aren't going to get funded anymore,
You will be surprised what people are willing to fund, Kara.
I am never surprised by what people are willing to fund. Many of the companies we have funded in Silicon Valley are without revenue and without any prospect for revenue, and they continue.
Revenue is destruction, you know.
Exactly. So let's talk about that, because, you know, debt is a very good theme right now, at least in Silicon Valley, and I'm not as familiar with the European market. But it's a very slow time now for entrepreneurs. How do you look at let's make some predictions, some serious predictions about what's going to happen. Because a lot of Web 2.0 companies are famous for, Twitter, Facebook are famous for talking about not caring about revenue, not caring about anything but growth, which is very challenged right now in the current economic environment.
Okay, let me try to be serious for a minute. You know, I'm in this business for maybe the last 12 years, and really I had the opportunity to see many projects, and I must agree that getting users is the most important thing. If you get users, You have, first of all, the whole thing is a game of probability. If you get a lot of users, if you get traffic, you have a good chance or a better chance to monetize it. If you don't collect traffic and you have to get all your traffic by paying search engines, you can create traffic, but this traffic is not loyal. The moment you will stop promoting it, it will walk away. If you are able to create organic, viral traffic, this traffic will stick to you and it creates value. What value it creates? The difference between having a piece of real estate in New York or in South Dakota is because of the organic traffic that you have in the location. If you are able to take a piece of land in South Dakota and tow it to New York and place it in New York, you increase the value very much. You cannot do it with real estate, but you can do it with internet properties if you can create traffic.
I accept that, but at the same time, I think it's one of the internet's greatest canards that you can just grow and grow and grow and not have to at some point address the fact.
At some point you have to monetize it. You know, unfortunately, it's very hard to pay salaries to people from eyeballs. You have to monetize it. The point I'm trying to make, first go and come with a compelling offer and create huge audience to your offering. Then you will find it much easier to monetize it. You have to monetize it, but you cannot monetize it from day one. You have, first of all, to build audience, and then monetize it. So I think that Facebook and Twitter are great properties, even though they are not monetizing it yet in large scale.
And how do you imagine they're going to be monetized? One of the issues that's been happening here and in Silicon Valley and everywhere are these ridiculous valuations that venture capitalists have placed on these companies. And then recently, venture capitalists have become much more, giving lectures to these companies to cut back, to cut spending, to cut people. And it's kind of like being told by a drug dealer who's shoved you full of cocaine to stop taking it.
There was this guy by the name of Columbus. You may have heard of him. In 1492, he went to Queen Isabel.
The Columbus argument. Go ahead.
Yeah, he went to Queen Isabel and asked to finance his trip to the West Indies. He didn't know that he will hit the Americas. He didn't know he will bring back corn and tobacco and animals, etc. We are now chartering into unknown properties. So you cannot go and create something that you are not aware of and know what will be the revenue model. When you go on exploration, sometimes you end it with revenue model, sometimes you know. Just a minute. Okay. There were these two guys, I don't know if you heard the name, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. If you didn't hear about him, you will be hearing about them. They have a great future in front of them. They launched Google in '98. They were able to monetize it in large scale only on 2002. Took them 4 years to figure the business model, and believe it or not, right now they have a very nice little successful business model.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's one. I mean, there was only one America discovered by Columbus, and everybody else sunk. Columbus himself died of dysentery in the West, in America. I mean, the plains are covered with the bodies of pioneers. It's an old saying.
Yeah, that's true.
And there was only one Google that made it out with a highly profitable.
There is one eBay, and there is one Amazon, and there is one this, and there is one that. And with Twitter and with Facebook, I have no doubt in my mind there will be business model. I don't know if the business model of Facebook will be the one which will justify $1.5 billion or $15 billion or $150 billion or $150 million. But Facebook, you judge it by the loyal users and by the enthusiasm, etc. It's a great product which will be economics. I wish that Mark Zuckerberg will come to me now and will offer me to invest in Facebook in the retroactive prices.
So what are you looking for right now as you in this bad economic time, if you're talking about something emerging? What are you looking for in entrepreneurs when you're investing?
I am looking always for the same things. I don't read business plans because I don't believe that in new areas you can come with a genuine business plan. I think business plan belong to a subgenre of science fiction.
Okay.
It's a very interesting science fiction, but it's science fiction. I believe in young, talented guys, exceptionally talented guys who know how to create an offering which will resonate with the heart of the users. I believe in entrepreneurs which are very focused. I believe in entrepreneurs which are very nimble. I believe in entrepreneurs which eat their own dog food. I think that if you look for a great entrepreneur, he has to be a potential user of the product. I don't want 20-year-old kids doing product for 50-year-old guys, and I don't want 50-year-old guy creating product for 20-year-old kids. And the most important thing, I want them to be very nice people, because as I already said, the probability to lose your money is very big, and every time I lose money, my wife asks me, what are you doing again to the family assets? And I tell her, look, let's consider it that we gave a scholarship to 2 young guys to go and execute their dream. And if you want to give scholarship, you want to give them to nice people, not to jerks. So they have to be nice.
So what areas are you? Very nice.
Thank you. In America, they applaud much more vigorously.
So, and afterwards, Yossi will be back here with his checkbook giving everybody scholarships. It'll be great. And I'll take one too. So what trends are you looking for? What's overhyped for you right now? I could make a long list myself, but what's
So, Kara, I have a question for you.
Sure.
What overhype right now?
What's overhyped right now? A lot of individual social network companies that are features that probably are only features and not companies.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's probably something I think they're all good and they're all interesting. I just don't think any of them will survive practically. And they're not getting bought by these larger companies today because the larger companies are in distress, I guess. I think I'm still a little dubious about some of the mobile stuff I'm seeing, although it certainly is a promising area. But
Let me ask you, no, I have another question for you.
Right.
As you very well remember, in the last bust that you and I discussed in February 2000, as you remember, in this Indian restaurant at TED.
I remember every encounter I have with you, Yossi.
Good. And in the last bust, you quoted in your terrific column. Anybody reads Kara column on Wall Street Journal or on the internet?
Okay, go ahead.
Who doesn't read it?
Oh, stop, Yossi.
Who read it?
All right.
Raise your hand even if you don't read it.
Yossi,
Who read it? We need to take the photo.
Move along, move
Who
along.
read it?
Oh my God.
Up your hands.
Okay, thank
So
you.
these are Europeans. Go to Boomtown.
Yeah.
You quoted John Doerr saying that it's only the second inning.
Yes.
And you quote Larry Ellison saying that the internet is underhyped.
Yes.
How do you see it at this situation? Is it still the second inning? Is the internet underhyped?
I think it's always been underhyped. It's the most powerful communications medium ever invented. But at the same time, I think valuations are overhyped. I think people get ahead of themselves, and the greed of Silicon Valley and Wall Street in general tends to overestimate the ability to get where everybody's going. But let me ask you what you think is overhyped.
What I think is overhyped. First of all, the problem is not overhyped, because in every space there will be one offering which will be terrific. Okay. Video, YouTube, you know, the amount of time that I spend in YouTube, I cannot believe myself. 3 o'clock in the morning, I go and see songs and singers from the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. But there is no room for all the video offering that we are seeing. There is no room for every space, you know, the tragedy or the opportunity that the internet is a marketplace of one winner. Winner takes all. Mm-hmm. So you have in every space, but I think video is very much discussed. I don't know if it's overhyped. On mobile, I think we see only the beginning. I think that the iPhone showed that you can have user interface on small device which will offer the opportunity to do great application, and we see it in the Apple stores. We see new things coming every day, things that people never thought about, terrific things. I think that the role of Wi-Fi, we're just beginning to see it, and I think in 3 or 4 years we are going to see a whole a whole different internet. So maybe I'm one of the guys who are hyping rather than suffering from overhype.
How do you look at social networking? Obviously, it's become the trend of the past couple of years.
Social network, okay. The main driving force of the internet is not productivity. The main driving force, and this is now understood better than 10 years ago, when we came with ICQ, we observed at that time.
Which you were one of the original social networks,
right,
really.
Right. So the main driving force is the ability to internet to serve people in their social relationship, etc. And we are seeing, like for instance, we see now that Facebook want to enable each property to post on Facebook what is called the live stream, which is a terrific offering. And the internet, like the human genome has the picture of the end product, but also it provides the information how to produce the end product. The internet is both the product and the plan, because every time you create an internet product, because of the mashups and the APIs and the Web'08, the .NET, etc., you can build new product based on the product which have been created last year. So what we are going to see in social network is that it will wrap you in a more complete way, in a more integrated way, that when you move your cell phone, other people will be able to see it on the net.
So you're talking about sort of a universal address book, an online presence.
I talk about universal address book and online presence, but I talk about much more extended presence. It's not only if you are online or offline, is where you are, what you are doing, what you want to do, what your friends want to do, what your friends want from you, and any information that you will be willing to surrender to other people. We see it growing in Facebook. We see it growing on different applications on cellular telephones. They now build special telephones which will accommodate this thing, and this is definitely going to be a huge trend. It's already a huge trend.
You're creeping me out a little bit. How does that, I mean, does it work that you input these things, or people know about these things about you? How does this get created?
I think that from privacy point of view, it's not correct if people will know about the thing without you. You have to give the permission. Mm-hmm. You have kind of be willing to broadcast, to multicast, to nanocast, to unicast, but you have to control what information of you is being posted all around the web. Otherwise, we get into a very difficult and undesirable situation.
What about the idea of, someone was just telling me about the idea that computer science is mixing with life sciences now, and it's beyond the genome, beyond what Linda was talking about with 23andMe, the idea that technology can start to alter people's physical experiences.
Yeah, I cannot talk about computer science with life science because I'm not expert on life science, but definitely we are now defining what I call sociology 2.0. Mm-hmm. The whole science of sociology, the whole behavior of people is now so much affected by what they see on the computer, on their telephone, that we get total, and we know it, we get total new behaviors, and we get total new communities, we get total new personas, and the thing we talk about the computer, which was 2 or 3 hours a day, is now becoming 24 hours change of human sociology.
So if you had to make a prediction of what the computing industry was going to look like in 5 years, or the internet industry, or whatever, however you want to define it, what would be the most important part of it?
The most important part of it will be that mashup and collaboration between different elements and building applications on foundation that other people have built will become predominant. Today, to create an internet property became something which can be very fast and not expensive. We will see bigger communities of younger people are creating applications. Anybody who is under the age of 30, would you please raise your hand? Anybody over 30, would you please stand up and go away from here?
You'll have to leave now. Speaking of dead, I used to say that anyone who's not 4 years old is dead in internet terms, really. So what won't exist? Won't be here? What company, for example, what powerful company right now won't be around in 10 years?
You know that I cannot, for certain reasons, I cannot name the company, but there are some companies who are not going to be here.
What kind of company? What do you need to be when you're in the computing space, the internet space, as you move forward?
Okay, again, when I talk about computers, I talk about the internet. We see that to the management, 10 years ago, people who were not internet savvy tried to manage internet properties, and it's not coincidence that the biggest offering in the internet, Yahoo and Google and Amazon and eBay and many, many others are companies which didn't exist 12 or 15 years ago because the old management who couldn't relate to the consumer had to phase out. Today, at this age, we see a transition that old companies, incumbent companies, begin to adopt internet strategy by hiring people. At the end of the day, I think the main thing that you have to eat your own dog food. In this industry, it's impossible anymore to say, I'm an investor, I don't have to understand the space, but I will be able to make decisions. This is gone. You want to be in the space, you have to empower young people younger than business ever vested power in. You have to empower people 25 years old, 30 years old, 32 years old who are very, very deep with very deep understanding of the space, Kara.
Excellent. And now, unfortunately, we don't have enough time for questions, but Yossi will be in the back with his wallet handing out money afterwards. Thanks a lot.
And Kara, thank you very much for your daily column, which really provides us with terrific information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yossi and Kara.